difficult times in life, they make you stronger. It's
Yeah, and mentorship also for right place in life, like having a mentor, having these teachers, having people that are doing these things, like, whatever you think you want to do, find people who are successful at it. Hey there, it's Dr. Robert Ciprian. Our video podcast, me and Vita, Heal Profoundly, Conversations about Transformation. And something I think that between us in life that we're always kind of like looking at, and I've been through a lot in my life too, is just finding your right place and right life, your right path in life. Me, like growing up in Queens, New York, was working as a security guard, and I was a mechanic for a while, and I liked being a mechanic. I got to work with my hands, I got to fix things, I got to learn what makes things work. But I just didn't like really being a mechanic, man. I'm always like Mr. Fix-It. I like solving problems and stuff. But I found out eventually that like what I really want to do is fix people, and that kind of led to the fixing people part. So I'm always just interested in people. I'm a very social person, so I just kind of wanted to learn those things. So there's a lot of different things in life that kind of just kept guiding me there over the years. And to me, I just found out that if you really listen in life and be aware, that you will get guided to those things. Because I had people talk to me about things like chiropractic and natural healing, and I was just like blown away, like, what? Like, that's amazing. And I'd watch documentaries about like spirituality and life after death, how people seeing things on the other side of how the world really is. And those things just fascinated me. I was so fascinated by those things. So it just helped me more and more kind of get to a place of where I wanted to work with those types of things with people in their life. And once I kind of figured that out, I was just really happy feeling like I'm in my right place.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that's always kind of changing a little bit too, because going from like chiropractic and then as a teacher, and me now like writing book, kind of my story of my life, and doing type of things like this, where trying to help people kind of find their way in life too. I just feel like it's ever evolving.
Well, hi everybody. When was the time when you felt okay, like I'm in the right place, like career-wise or your life purpose-wise?
I feel like that happens again and again, but
so it's kind of like
I feel like it happens, and then like you're happy for a while, but then you feel like there's something else itching. There's something else like there's something else that you're curious about, or you see or read something, and that just really fascinates you, and you want to kind of do that a bit more.
Yeah, so it's like a constant growth.
Yeah.
Constant leveling up
Yeah.
in life.
Because like with chiropractic at first, it's thought like this is a great thing. I mean, it helps a lot of things, the nervous system, the immune system. Of course, it fixes pain in the body. That's just, very common. But then I found out also how to help people with emotions and their different organs, and to help them get over kind of different diseases they've had, and to really just kind of look more holistic. So I went from just like the basic chiropractic into these other things. And how I got there was I was really, really sick myself, like super sick. And I was going to all these other doctors, and I started going to all these other seminars to see what I could do for me, because what I was doing wasn't working. And then I would meet other doctors who were doing things I never saw before. And I'm like, I want to learn that. I want to learn that. So a path in my life too is kind of my health problems help guide me to learn more and keep evolving to be in my right place in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that kept evolving. That changed a little bit more spiritual, and it changed a little bit more kind of mental, emotional. So it's just always whatever excites me, I kind of go there. Yeah.
It's interesting that in order to start healing or fixing people, you have to go through this yourself.
Well, I think that's the best
Very, very
way to
interesting.
do it.
I
We had
agree.
this conversation, the wounded healer. I
Yeah.
feel like those healers, they could just kind of look at you and like, I know exactly where you're at. I can help you. I've gotten through this myself. And then people, I feel like they have more of a trust in you from that.
Yeah, I feel like people have the stories, and usually it gets people when you had actually difficult times in life.
Hmm.
And difficult times in life, they make you stronger.
Oh, definitely.
I
They
think
make you wiser
wider and
too.
stronger. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very interesting concept. Even though, like, I personally want to enjoy it, and sometimes, like, like I have like good times, and I'm like, okay, finally, bad times are over. Okay, let's enjoy it. And then it's again, and you're like, no, I thought it was over, and it gets another level of difficulties in
Yeah,
life.
yeah. What they call the growth periods. It's kind
Yeah,
of like, oh, you think you're good, and oh, you got to grow, and you got to grow, and you got to grow.
yeah. So it's just interesting process.
Yeah, yeah.
But for me, it's actually not. It's not like it's been a process, and I'm happy and a little bit even jealous to people who know what they want to do through their childhood.
Uh-huh.
Like my brother, he knew he wanted to be a dentist when he was like 13, 12, like very early. He was just like out of the blue. He told us, I want to be a dentist. And my mom, like parents, was so happy about it.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have this moment.
Mm.
I think I got it this moment only like a few years ago, and not fully. It was just that my can heal, and I was like, when I had this moment, I was just like, oh, okay, like that's why they're always here, like in front. I always gesticulate, so they were always in front of me, and people would give me compliments about my hands, but I couldn't put things together.
Uh-huh.
So it's just very interesting. Even today, I was talking to my friend, and he is right now in a transformational period, and he was in IT, and he's been doing this very successfully, and then he just burned out. He's like, that's it, like I can't work anymore, I'm taking a break. So I'm like, what you gonna do, like what do you want to do? He's like, I'm not sure. And he's like older, he's like I think in his 40s already. He's like, I'm not sure, because he didn't question that till maybe now. Like he was working because he was getting like a good money, he's just doing it
Hmm.
because of money, but he never got the passion actually what I'm here for, right?
Yeah.
So today we started to talk about like health, like not the diet, but the
Keto diet.
keto diet,
Yeah, yeah.
and like he was taking like different courses, and he was just so educated about it, like
Hmm.
the way, so he was like giving me the whole lecture, and I was like, and so he apparently he helped few people to get their health in order,
Hmm.
and helps them to lose their weight,
Hmm.
but not like put them on that, but like a natural way, like we talked about it before. And I'm like, and so he helped them just, he didn't take money, he just helped it
Yeah.
as a friend because he knew it, and he helped himself to get in a better shape. And so I'm like, I think that's what you need to do in life. And he's like, so I think it was that moment when I'm like, but here's your, purpose in life. You're really passionate about it, and
Hmm.
you are so educated about it. Like you're so interested, like, he got so excited explaining me everything, and I'm like, wow, like it's just
Hmm.
interesting how people don't take those things seriously. They think, oh, it's just like a hobby, it's just a fun, it's
Yeah,
just for fun. But that's what it is, because it's really it excites them.
yeah.
So I'm so happy for him that.
That's great. Hopefully, I mean, he uses that because I really feel that we have a certain purpose in life, and when we're in that certain purpose, we're actually using it and living it, I feel we're the happiest that way. And we help others the most that way. Like I have a good friend, Dr. Shannon Weeks. He was a sound engineer and musician. He used to do all the soundboards, but he also used to play guitar himself, and he did that for years. He was also investing in real estate, so he had a lot of money. And he started going to a doctor doing kinesiology and muscle testing, and he was so fascinated by it. He's like, I'm going to do this. So he left being a sound engineer, which was making a lot of money, and doing his just playing music as a job, and laid off all the real estate investing and went to medical school and became a naturopathic doctor that uses muscle testing. And
how old was he when he changed this? When he was in this transition?
probably about 40.
When he went back to
go back to school, yeah, and become a doctor.
Wow.
I think he was late 30s, early
38,
about 40, yeah.
Wow.
So, and he just like boom, went full speed ahead. And me and him, we built some online courses for muscle testing training.com, and yeah, so he just totally found like this is what I'm meant to do, and he felt it, and he just took off of it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's all about like just that something in life that excites you feel good about, like this is Joseph Campbell, his anthropologist, writer, historian. He wrote books. He talks about in life, if you follow your bliss in life, that's right where you're supposed to be. And what is your bliss? And that might change every couple of years, but when you follow your bliss, you're in your right place, and that's when I think you're really happiest. And I really think that's when you can help most other people too.
Does it mean like then, like when you get on your life path, does it get easier, or it's not necessary?
I think easy is relative, but
like when these things are flowing to you, like you're doing the right thing because things are flowing.
Now for me, I've had such a passion for what I knew I needed to do, and I had a lot of painful obstacles in my life. But because I had such a passion, I just knew I got to just go and do this, no matter how stressful life gets, no matter how big my problems are. Like, I'm going to get through this. So my passion for these things made my willpower so powerful just to get through the problems I had to get there.
Okay.
Yeah. But some people deny these things in their life too. Like I had a patient years ago, and he did videography for big advertising firms, made a lot of money. But he wasn't happy with his job. He wanted to write books. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to write books. He just wanted to be an author. But, he had his wife, and they had a nice big house, nice cars, they had the lifestyle. And she's like, doesn't want him to become an author because all their money's just going to drop.
Yeah. So that fear of like, what's going to be next?
So he started becoming very depressed, very dissociative, having other health issues because he knew what he needed to do. He needed to write.
Yeah.
So he became just very unhealthy and unhappy in life. And then they're trying to, help their marriage. And he's like, oh, we'll have children. That'll help. It didn't. And so years later, what he did is, on the side of his regular, good paying videography work, he wrote a children's book, and it became so successful, like boom, just instant success.
Wow, that's amazing.
And he even got, paid in advance for a second book too from a publisher. So as soon as he went out to his right path, it just happened. It was just waiting to happen. It just like exploded.
Oh, I love the stories.
Yeah. And that's just, what everyone has, like the special purpose in their life.
Yes, for sure.
And you just really have to embrace that and follow it and figure it out. And you might not know exactly what it is 100% at first. Because, first I went for chiropractic. I thought I was going to work on football players. And then I got really, really sick, and I found all this holistic medicine stuff. And the first time I saw like someone working out emotions out of someone's organs and acupuncture meridians, I saw it and I said, that's what I'm doing. Like, I just knew, like, forget everything else. That's it. And I started following these doctors doing this type of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have like few ideas right now that I'm following this women. connected to conscious sexuality. So I think it's like where I need to look more. I feel like when I actually, because the healing is just so broad, and even with the hands, like still so broad, and massage maybe not, but with this female like who I follow, I don't know, they really resonate with me, and I look at them and I kind of like admire them,
It's pulling out something inside, right?
Yes. So I guess something is cooking.
I mean, you have your hands, you have your intuition, you have very strong intuition. You have you observe things very well in life. You see all these synchronicities everywhere. So you have all these gifts.
Yeah. And obviously I'm aware about my conscious sexuality, but actually that's been very interesting process because growing up in Russia, whereas I don't know, like sex is in USSR the sex didn't exist. And nobody would talk about it, or just they talk about it like a dirty things, like, so maybe in other countries, but in Russia that was happening. And I remember I was 25 and I was sitting in my room and I was just like meditating, and I'm like, something is missing. Like, I don't understand what's missing. I was like, something is missing. And then it just comes like sexuality. And I'm like, what? And then it just like, I was hiding it. Like, it was just like, I was embarrassed about it. And it just comes through. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go and explore what it is. So I started to like go to different like, parties and all of that, just to get myself into it and see from the different perspective, what it is, like what actually people do.
Yeah, just to learn more.
Like it wasn't like, it was just out of curiosity, because I was hiding it for so long, and then I'm like, okay, like here it is, where I need to look. And I don't know, it's just been a very interesting process.
Now, when you were meditating and you got that message, how did you get it? Did you feel it? Did you hear it? Did you see it?
It just kind of like came like, it's just like this word, like sexuality. And then you kind of like sexuality, and you're like, oh, yes, because, and you kind of start to put those things all together. So it's just a very interesting process. But I think I was 25 when it came. And then I actually was starting, I've been talking to girls, right? Like so easily about it. And I noticed that girls like opening up to me, and telling like I noticed that I start first as conversations about the sex and like sexuality, and like, and then everybody starts talking about it, and just nobody is shy about it. So it's just been very interesting to observe, and how your even friends becoming more aware about sexuality and more open. And I'm really enjoying it. So, and I really enjoy this conversation.
And it really is one of the biggest things in like modern society that people don't see as something sacred, spiritual, special. It's seen as like,
unfortunately,
it's seen as like a bad thing. It's used in bad ways too, if like advertising and all this other stuff and everything. So yeah, I mean, it's something that people do need for healing, because if it wasn't for sex, none of us would be here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
but make it like more. Yeah, it's just interesting how people took it in a kind of, can say, dirty way.
In a what way?
Like dirty way, like there's nothing about the majority. I mean, some people, of course, people already like getting it, but still the majority is like
mainstream.
It's like mainstream. It's just like, the more you have girls or guys, like, it's just like this empathy, sex, and not like fulfilling.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the past I felt like that after like sex with these certain guys, you would feel like empty, like you would have zero energy. So that moment's like, people should start questioning like, why is that, right? That the universe is trying to say something. Maybe it's the wrong person, or just whatever it can be.
Yeah, there's so much about that, and yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about that more in the future, and we're gonna have some guests talk about that in the future, because it's really super important for overall holistic well-being in life, because it is part of life. And we look at things holistically, you got to take everything into account in life with well-being and health and happiness. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm excited. I'm excited about that. Getting myself into it more and more. And I hope to take maybe some mentorship from one of the female women I want.
Yeah.
So and actually I'm excited to have interview with them.
Yeah, and mentorship also for right place in life, like having a mentor, having these teachers, having people that are doing these things, like, whatever you think you want to do, find people who are successful at it and try to be around them. Try to volunteer to help them when they do their stuff, or to help them teach or something like that. Try to really get a mentorship going, because that's when you learn the most. And then they'll tell you, oh, and I learned from this person and that person, and then whatever you're trying to be in life, I don't care if it's an artist, a healer, a mechanic, like if you're helping people with their financial life, whatever it is, when you have these mentors, you really get so much more wisdom in it than just, taking your course, going to school. Because I feel the real learning happens after your trainings, after your school. It's just like being with these people who are already like super successful at it.
Yeah, I believe in it. I actually, I started to learn actually about life like only when I moved to another country and being on my own. I was open to meet new people. I had no idea where it's gonna like bring me, like what direction it's gonna take me. I just moved, but it's been very interesting because it was putting me with amazing like people, like with you, like, and and I learned so much from you and from so many other people. So it's like real life is a school itself. And now we have such an access to this, so many people through the internet.
Yeah, through doing stuff like this. And
it's just amazing. And it's amazing. I'm very grateful that we actually live in the time where we have this access to all of this, and we don't have to go to the library.
Yeah. And
so we are very lucky.
When you're on a path like you, I mean, you're encountering all these things and meeting people and learning, and it's fun and it's exciting. And
I mean, if you find something like you're really excited to, read. Sometimes, I'm just staying at home and I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to read.
Yeah. Every morning, I try to set aside some time before I really start my day to just read something that uplifts me, something that gets me back looking at my purpose. I think, to me, that's like, I got to start my day every day like that. And I've been doing that for years and years and years. I think it's a big part of my growth, where I came from, was just this education and learning and just building myself up that way. I think it's super important. Yeah.
Well,
thank you very much, Vita. It was good listening to you share all these things. And and if you like our video, please like it and share it, and take a look at what we have coming out in the future with other things coming out. Thank you very much.
Bye.